The human population on planet Earth is 7.5 billion and growing. That's a lot of people to feed. How can we be sure everyone has enough to eat? Throughout history, about 7,000 types of plants and hundreds of animal species have been used as food. But today, only 3 plants, wheat, rice, and maize, provide more than half of the world's plant-derived energy. It is estimated that 95% of the world's dietary energy comes from only 30 crops. What happened to our food system? Part of the answer is livestock. Cattle, lamb, pigs, and chicken are the world's largest consumers of grain. Grazing land and cropland for animals represents almost 80% of all agricultural land. And governments spend billions to subsidize single-crop agriculture, called monocropping. But as agriculture loses its diversity, it is failing nutritionally as well. What can be done? It turns out that small, mostly organic farms producing colorful varieties of vegetables, fruits, and grains have a huge role to play in protecting food diversity and its nutritional value. Almost 90% of farms are owned by families, not by large corporations like you might think. These small farms are more productive per acre than their huge counterparts, and many of them preserve seeds that have been handed down generations, promoting biodiversity. Even so, despite our capacity for food production, hunger is on the rise. In 2017, 124 million people endured food insecurity, lack of access to adequate quantities of nutritional food. The main driver of this problem is conflict. People in countries and regions at war suffer food insecurity the most. Climate shocks, like droughts, leave people in affected regions, like sub-Saharan Africa, for example, facing hunger and even starvation. And in decades to come, the food demands of our global population will increase. So what can you, your family, and community do to help out? Here's a few ideas. Limit consumption of meat. Try to make 1 meal a day or more meat-free. Reduce food waste. Can't finish your meal at a restaurant? Pack it to go. The world wastes a huge amount of food, about 1.4 billion tons. That's enough to feed 2 billion people for a year. Support local farmers. Buying food locally reduces energy spent on transportation and helps family farms thrive. Try to eat local seasonal produce. It's fresh and delicious. Now, how do you set a table for 7.5 billion people?